Hi guys, welcome to City Cementis. My name is Ketan, and in this video, I'm going to discuss D-Day strategy for ZAT 2020. Now, you have around about 2 to 3 days left, and this strategy has already been helping a lot of students of mine. And if you practice this very well, you can definitely see an increment of 6 to 7 marks in your mocks and even on the D-Day. So, let's get started with the D-Day strategy for ZAT. Fine. So what we're gonna do is actually for this thing, I'm gonna give you guys a couple of do's and don'ts, which are going to be really important. What happens eventually, as far as that is concerned, we actually tend to kind of start with the paper. We have around about 165 minutes. Okay. So a couple of important things. The first thing that I want every one of you to do is check the LOD. Now, LOD is quite important to kind of understand if there are any kind of surprises or not. Because it's quite vital that you better check the paper before you even move ahead, because you can shuffle, you can kind of hop on hop off as far as these sections are concerned. So there is no constrained access the way we had in CAT. So that's number one. So I want you to kind of check LOD. Now, do not check the LOD of the entire paper. What you can do is you can check the LOD of your particular section, which you're quite bullish about, right? So that's something that you got to do. Now, moving ahead, see again, as far as the time management is concerned, I leave it up to you guys. How do you want to utilize this 165 minutes? This is an absolutely at your discretion. I'm not going to say that you should do this and that. No, what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to break this entire paper into 3 slots. So my slot number 1 is I strongly recommend to you all to do the decision making. Now, trust me, if you're not somebody who is really comfortable with decision making, then what you can do is you can take your strong area, whichever you feel comfortable with. But again, if you're somebody who is a bit good at decision making, you can actually take it. Now, why decision making? Let me kind of give you a kind of an explanation out here. See, number one, when I talk about decision making, I'm not saying that you got to attempt around about all the 23 to 24 questions. No, don't do that, right? Now, it always helps to take decision making, because decision making can set the rhythm, because you can take your target going to be in the first round is going to be around about 5 to 7 questions. Okay, and trust me, you will find 5 to 6 easy peasy questions in this paper. They're going to be like cakewalk for you all. So what you have to do is you have to take questions which are easy ones. Now, how do you understand questions which are easy ones? See, try to avoid questions which are based on quants, wherein the calculations are involved. Try to leave questions which are ascending and descending order. Try to leave questions wherein you see a lot of possibilities are involved in. So do not take all these questions. Just take subtle questions based on ethics, question based on HR, question based on management, question based on operations or marketing, something like that. And trust me, these topics you will definitely see in decision making. Now, these are quite light topics. Anybody can do them easily, but definitely 100% accuracy. So you got to ease yourself up when you start with the paper. So 5 to 6 questions you can do it. You can round about do, let's say, 2 sets, right? And you can ease yourself up. Now, what happens is this is kind of a warm up. You're trying to getting into the paper mode. And again, decision making doesn't require any kind of a rocket science. It's a very logical and common sense kind of a thing, right? So that helps you actually to kind of get into the rhythm. Once the decision making is concerned, once the decision making is done, like you are like 5 to 7 questions down, what I can do is, even if you feel that I can do more of decision making, stop yourself. Don't do that. So you got to break yourself. You're going to give a stop to yourself, and then what you can do is you can move in slot 1 to either quants or VARC. But here, strictly, I will be following only VA, no RC. So what I'm going to do is, if I'm someone who's pretty good at verbal, comparatively quants is concerned, I'm going to go to verbal ability. My first thing is going to be parajumble. I'm not going to touch RC. Absolutely no. Right? I'm not going to touch RC. Right? So I'm going to do parajumble. I'm going to do a couple of fill in the blanks. I'm going to kind of do a bit of grammar. Whatever I can do from verbal ability area. And why it's important? Because see, it's very much easy. It's like, tick tick kind of a thing, right? You know it, you mark it. You know it, you mark it. You don't know it, you just leave it. As simple as that. Now, what happens here is that if you look at out of those 24 questions, right? Out of those 24 questions, you will be getting off with the grammar. You'll be getting off with the parajumble. So basically, you know that, in verbal ability, either I could play very well or I could not play very well. So if you could play very well in verbal ability, then RC is going to be a kind of a bonus. If you do not play very well in verbal ability, then RC is something that you got to be really, really banking on. And you will have to put in extra efforts for RC. So that's where you decide your strategy, that what needs to be done eventually in the paper, or ahead of the paper, right? So that's what my recommendation is. So once the DM is done, I'm going to go for VA. I'm going to try to knock off those many questions, as many questions as I can. Again, remember one golden rule. If you're not sure about anything, do not even touch it. Do not even touch it. Absolutely. You want to take a guess at it, you may want to take a guess at it, but that guess has to be very much close. If you're not sure about that guesswork, then don't even take it. Again, do not be worried about unattempted question, because they are not going to cost you a lot. Right? Do not treat unattempted questions negative marking the way you have actual negative marking, because actual negative marking is 1/4. This is going to have an which is a great impact on your score. But an unattempted question won't be having a lot. I would say approximately 10 questions if you leave, you're going to lose 1 mark. So 50 questions you leave, you're going to lose 5 marks. It's not that high. Right? So do not worry about it. So mark only those questions which you are sure about. So once VA is done, I'm going to come back to my quants. Okay, I'm going to come back to my quants. I'm going to only pick up formula based question. In slot 1, your strategy should be score optimization. You are only going to take easy questions which are doable for you. You're going to only try to take low hanging fruits, nothing else. Doesn't matter how you get tempted, as far as your other sections are concerned, but low hanging fruits, right? So slot 1, you can decide that, okay, in slot 1, you want to give in 1 hour and whatever. Right, you can decide that, but try to knock off easy questions. Then I'm going to go ahead with my slot 2. In slot 2, my combination is going to be, I'm going to pick up those questions which will take a little bit more time to crack compared to slot 1, but my accuracy is going to be even higher. Right, and slot 2 is going to be the most crucial part of your entire XAT paper, because here you're looking for the optimization of score by avoiding the negative marking. So what you can do is, if you're somebody who's good at decision making, go on to the decision making, knock it off completely. Okay, knock it off completely, because now you are not going to wait, easy hai, nahi hai. What you're going to do is, ठीक है, मुझे आएगा, I'm going to do it. If there is a छोटा सा भी possibility कि हाँ यार ये मुझे आ सकता है, I can work it out. Geometry के questions, yes, मैं थोड़ा सा time दूंगा, थोड़ा सा दिमाग लगाऊंगा, तो I can work it out, right? अगर reading comprehension की बात करते हैं तो ठीक है, तीन में से एक आपका शॉर्ट शॉट बनेगा पूरा का पूरा. सो इन स्लॉट 2 व्हाट यू हैव टू डू इज यू हैव टू टेक 1 आरसी फॉर श्योर. एक आरसी लेना है आपको, इजी वन आउट ऑफ दोस 3 आरसी. एक आरसी को नॉक ऑफ कर दो, दोनों को साइड में रखो. नाउ द स्लॉट 2 इज गोना बी क्वेश्चंस अटेम्प्ट करने हैं जहां पे टाइम लगेगा, पर मेरी एक्यूरेसी अच्छी खासी आने वाली है. अब स्लॉट 3 के बारे में अगर बात करेंगे, स्लॉट 3 इज गोना बी अ डेंजरस स्लॉट. यहां पे क्या होगा, आपको ऐसे क्वेश्चंस उठाने जहां पे आपको लगेगा कि यार मेरे यहां पे 15 मिनट जाएंगे, पर मेरा सिर्फ और सिर्फ 3 क्वेश्चन बनेगा, चलेगा. यहाँ पे आपका जो ट्रेड ऑफ होगा वो बहुत खराब होगा. आई मीन ट्रेड ऑफ इज गोइंग टू बी रियली बैड, दैट यू आर गिविंग 15 मिनट्स on only 3 questions. So each question is eating up 5 minutes. But again, what's happening at the end of the day, you are heading for 100% accuracy. Simple. So by the time you reach out to the third slot, in the second slot only, you know that how many questions you have attempted, what is your accuracy, and how much you are scoring, to be very honest. If this is good, then do not try to play a lot in slot third. Take it easy in the slot third. And if this is really bad, then try to work even harder in slot third. Right, so what I can do is, basically, if I were you, I will take the rest of 2 RCs in slot 3. So in slot 3, I will say that एक RC नहीं बना तो भी चलेगा, because out of these 2 RC, they're all not going to be doable and manageable. So what I'm going to do is, I'm only going to be looking for, out of these 5 to 6 questions, my target is to get 2 questions, as simple as that. Fine. So what I'm trying to do is, verbal ability, I could knock off a couple of questions. So let's say 1 RC I got 3 questions. Then I did 2 RCs, I took only 2 questions. Then I did 2 parajumble questions. And I then kind of, did whatever paper was left, around about like 24 minus 7. So whatever, let's say 17 questions were left, right? Out of those 17 questions, I'm only asking you 4 questions to do. So if you look at here, your score is going to be 8. 8 plus 3 is going to be 11. 11 is a good score to crack verbal ability cutoff for XLRI. And that's how we need to kind of move it step by step. So slot 1 is going to be purely score optimization. This is going to be 20-20 kind of thing, right? Slot 2 is going to be kind of a one day, jahan pe you are going to take calculative risk. And slot 3 is going to be kind of a test match. You're going to give a lot of time, but you're going to get a very small return. So that's how I want you guys to kind of, frame your entire strategy for D-Day. And trust me, if anybody who actually works this out very, very well should be seeing an increment of roughly 6 to 7 marks. My students have already done it. Those who have not done it, you can do it. So those who have already applied this strategy on 2 to 3 marks, they have seen a phenomenal improvement. People have actually, from 25, they have gone to 37 also, right? So yes, this is something can help you. Try it out. Should be helping you. And if you have any questions, anything, you can put the comment on the video. But yeah, this is the way I would love to, guys, see you guys kind of, moving ahead with your Zatka paper. So that's it from my side, guys. Wish you good luck for your Zat. Thank you so much.